Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into Season 5, Episode 16, Dark Side of the Moon.
What did you think of this episode? It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah. There's really funny bits, and then there's also really depressive bits. And scary.
Yeah.
Heaven's scary.
Heaven is terrifying in this episode.
Yeah.
Jeebus. I can't remember the actor's name. Nobody sue me or hurt me or anything. But the actor who plays Zachariah is so good.
Oh yeah.
He's so good. And he's in this show that I watch called Evil. And it's another supernatural horror, and it also has demons in it. And he plays a very different character from Zachariah. It just shows his range. He's so good. He's so good because he's basically playing an evil middle management businessman version of Mr. Smith in The Matrix.
Yeah, he is really good. I really don't like Zachariah, but that's not, he's a good actor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we hate him so much, is because this guy is such a good actor.
Yeah. And I can't think what I know him from. I'll have to look it up for next time because I think I keep meaning to and forgetting. Because I definitely know from something as well.
I'm just going to do it. Kurt Fuller. That's his name, Kurt Fuller.
Yeah. Oh, also, just saying, on IMDb, I'm looking at the cast list for here. The guy who plays young Sam, obviously this is a picture of him now, he is hot.
Yeah.
I think we might have mentioned this before. Anyway, Kurt Fuller.
I just really there's these photos of him. He was in a show that I really enjoyed, and it was a zombie apocalypse show, and it got canceled way too early. He was hilarious and brilliant, and I don't understand. I'm so mad about the cancellation of the show. And there was a picture of it, and it was Sam Winchester, Close Enough, Welcome Back, from Supernatural fans, and I was like, oh, I love us. We're such a cute fandom. And so Kurt Fuller and also that actor, 10 out of 10. Both great actors. Kurt Fuller plays such a good douchebag. And he's so menacing and scary when he's trying to be evil, and otherwise he's just middle management. And it's the flip. It's the flip for me that I find so impressive. Yeah. And then on Evil, he plays such a layered character. I'm not going to talk about that too much because I don't want to
I don't think I've seen
give
that.
spoilers for people who end up wanting to watch it, but it's very political, very tongue-in-cheek, very, very feminist. And I love it. There's one scene that I will give away is there's a scene where you have this little nun who is played by a woman who I think is in her 50s, maybe. And she's fabulous, this character. And she's very small and very diminutive. And she's surrounded by this patriarchal society and culture. And she just ignores them. And she's able to see things as they actually are. She has second sight. And there's this one huge demon who's terrifying. And he has all these skulls and hooks and stuff. And he's trying to intimidate her. And she's this actress is 5'0", okay, and weighs 100 pounds dripping wet, maybe. She's tiny, but she's powerful. And so he walks up to her and he says, I've got a hook here free just for you. Because he's got all of these disembodied heads and tortured souls that he's dragging around with him. And he has super fucking scary music. And the actor who's playing him must be about 6'5", 6'6" or something. So he's
wow.
Huge. And she's tiny, and she just puts her hands around the hook she's going to shake hands with it. And it's oh yeah, that's nice. Whatever. Walks out, ignores him completely, he's trash. It is so satisfying. It's the show finds ways to give women really badass parts in ways that I really enjoy, and specifically questions things like race in America, and how patriarchal is Catholicism and Christianity, and what is a woman's place / role, and then it's always whatever she wants it to be. And I don't know, I really enjoy it. It's really fun, it's quirky, it's weird, it's scary. I'll be watching, I'll be Nick, you have to come and sit next to me and hold my hand. I am not watching this scene without you.
Oh. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it. have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's on Sky here, and in America, I think it's just airing wherever. It's on. I think it's on Sky Atlantic 1 if you're in the UK.
Yeah, that's why I haven't seen it then. There's loads of things on Sky, and every now and then I'll get Now TV. No one is going to understand what we're talking about who's not in the UK, but I'll sometimes get Now TV for like a month so I can watch some Sky shows.
Yeah.
And then I cancel it again.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a very good show if you're a horror fan. It's a very good show if you find like the supernatural stuff entertaining, if you like scary things, ghost stories, demon stories. If you like things like The Exorcist, it's a really great show for that. All the actors and all the cast is phenomenal. I just happen to really like Kurt Fuller's performance in both Supernatural and in this, which is why it was on my brain. So this episode, as much as it has scenes in it that are like hard to watch, I actually really love this episode because I love the 4th of July scenes so much. And it's really good to see Ash again.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really fun to see him. I'm like, a luchador? Who is the luchador? Like, what?
I'd written, there's a helpful luchador in my notes. And then I was like, it's Ash.
Yeah, so like that was really fun. Pamela is again not my favorite character. Yeah, she's just too,
I knew you were
like,
gonna say that.
Huh?
I knew you were gonna say that. I had in my notes like something about to ask you about Pamela.
I'm annoyed about it because I want to like her character. Like, she's like not old by any means, but actually the actress who plays her pointed out that it was really nice and refreshing to have she's like in her 30s playing Pamela against Jensen and Jared, and Jensen's also like in his 30s when they were filming this, and she was saying how refreshing it is to actually be cast to be like of an age, which is something that I always rant about, where it's like, why do you cast teenagers to play opposite like grown men all the time, or like people who are supposed to be like so much younger? Like, it's just the cringy Hollywood tendency to put very young girls with much older men. But this is really nice. Like, she's very rock and roll. I like that. She's psychic, fun. Like, there's so many things about her character. So, like, I want to love her. And it's just the way that she interacts with Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
That gets me. I feel like she's not well-rounded enough of a character. Like, we know that she likes rock music. And we know that she's a psychic. But she just does and says things that I find irritating. And she's, like, always groping them. And flirting with Sam and Dean
feel awkward.
Yeah, flirting with Sam and Dean is absolutely fine. Like, I feel like we've established that. Love Cassie, love Joe, love all of the girls, love Ruby in all iterations. I love Meg. I love every other female character. It's just Pamela that like grinds my gears. And I feel like it's because like a rocky, witchy girl should be my self-insert character. And she's not. And because she's not, I'm really mad about it. The actress is great. Like, I have no, like, the actress is beautiful. She's talented. She is not the problem. It's really the writing for me and the characterization where I'm just like, no, it's so close to good.
She's kind of like a little bit too, she's a bit creepy and a bit pervy.
That's all. It's the Gertrude of it all for me. Like, if she did not have the Gertrude vibes, I would probably absolutely love her.
Yeah.
But
like, say on paper, we should like her.
On paper, we should absolutely get down with this. But it's literally just constantly groping.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean that I have an issue with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dean be like, well, he didn't touch me there. And I go, oh. It's a bridge too far, woman. Yeah. It just, no, that's not it for me. Which is upsetting because I do really want to like her. She's a lot more likable in this episode than she has been.
When she's dead.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing that annoys me is I think she's better written in this episode than she is in the other episodes. Like, I like her more in this episode than I do the other episodes. So it just makes it like doubly frustrating because now she's dead. It's like, why have you improved her now that she's dead? What the fuck?
I kind of feel like they did that with Ash as well. Well, I liked Ash before, but he was really cool in this episode.
Is great. This Ash is like a trippy Nicolas Cage character.
What do we think about, and it's going to be spoilers, you're going to say. I can't tell you, Laura, it's spoilers. But do we like Joshua? Because I'm like, he seems like a nice person for an angel. But I don't know if I trust him fully because he's an angel.
Well, I can certainly say that in this episode, and like I honestly cannot recall if we see him ever again. But
again, episode, very important character apparently.
Yeah. In this episode, I love him. I think the actor that plays him is phenomenal. He has so much range and depth. And I actually looked him up and it turns out that he's legit a Shakespearean actor. And I was like, okay, no, that tracks. Because there's things that he's doing with his voice and very subtle ways that he's portraying this character that are just like, oh, it's perfect. It's really nice. I really love the idea that this incredibly powerful being is just chilling, being a gardener and pretending to be the help, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because everybody else treats him like he's just the gardener and that doesn't mean anything. But he's also the only person who God will talk to.
Yeah.
So they've got it all very backwards. And I thought it was interesting to contrast like that he is a black man who's being treated like he's the help, but he's actually way more powerful. And then all the other angels that we've seen, for the most part, have been white men dressed up like bankers.
Like businessmen,
Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting as like a metaphor. I thought that was kind of cool. I love the fact that he is more powerful, that he has God's ear. And because some of my favorite religious philosophies that I've ever read, it sort of compared God to like, or deity or whoever, right, to being a gardener. And that's always felt really romantic and soothing to me. Like it feels like the world is chill when you think of the higher power, whatever you believe in, as a gardener. Could be God, goddess, whoever. I've always really liked like the green gods and goddesses. The concept of the earth is a sacred place. That has always really tracked for me. So this beautiful green verdant backdrop, it's the happiness of this childhood memory that they have from going to the botanical gardens in Cleveland. And also, if you look at my show notes, I've linked where they said they were and then also where they actually were in Canada. Both of them look beautiful. Add them to the road trip, absolutely. Like they look stunning.
I love a botanical garden.
So it's just like that backdrop against this character who's this like gardening angel who's actually chill, who's actually on their side. He has to deliver a slightly negative message, but he does it in a really loving way. And I just feel like Laura's laughing because the message is
slightly
like,
negative.
God says no. God
He's
doesn't
like, you're on your own. We don't care about you. I've done enough for you. Leave me alone.
Not your dad. Dad of everything, not your dad. Not my problem. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Yeah.
Brought you back to life for loads of times. What more do you want?
Yeah, I've done everything I can do. Do it yourselves. You're grown. Yeah. That's very much the energy.
That was exactly why I was laughing.
Yeah. But I just feel like everything that he's doing in his performance has so much gravitas. And I feel like that gravitas comes from that background. I think there's times you read somebody who's done Shakespeare and you're like, yes, I see it. Like, I don't know what it is. It's an indescribable something that people have. There's an added layer, I feel like. And I love it. I love to see it. Like David Tennant does Shakespeare and he kills it. Patrick Stewart. So I am a Shakespeare nerd. Obviously I have the English and film background, so I'm like programmed. I love it. And I just feel like he's amazing.
Yeah, I liked him. He also gave us like confirmation of things we kind of knew, but like definitely know now that it was God who put them on the plane when they made Lucifer rise. And it was also him that brought Cass back and like to them. So that's been officially confirmed now.
No more guessing.
I thought it was quite funny at the end with the whole like, yeah, I'm done with you guys now.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. And it was like, I've brought you back so many times.
It's how
Stop dying.
Joshua was like, he just thinks it's not his problem.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's actually funny. But anyway.
Did you get the poltergeist reference?
Oh, yeah. When he calls, I forgot what she's called.
Carol Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he says that, yeah.
Casual poltergeist reference. I thought that was fun.
There's lots of Disney references as well. I had written down as my fun fact for the preamble was because Ash talks about heaven being Disney World, and he also says it's the Magic Kingdom, and also the two hunters that kill Sam and Dean are Walt and Roy, and I found something that says Walt Disney's brother's name was Roy.
Roy, yeah. I also really liked, he was like, it's like Disneyland, but less fascist. And I laughed so hard because during my film degree, we literally had to study the rise of animation and its impact on film. And so we learned all about Walt Disney and how he was, in fact, a fascist.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Disneyland built on racism. So yeah, that's a fun, lighthearted fact for you guys. If you didn't know that, I've just ruined Disneyland for you a little bit. Sorry, I guess.
I feel like we're in a weird space today. That's what this episode has done to us.
Yeah.
It's like funny and depressing all at the same time.
And that's the vibe of the episode. Welcome. Yeah. Pull up a chair, get a snack. Book in with your therapist. You might need it after listening to this episode. There are some really great lines in this episode too. One of my favorite lines of all time ever is when they turn around and they're like, you want to spend the rest of your life knowing Dean Winchester's on your ass? Because I don't. And there's that shot of Dean being like, yeah, I'll fuck you up so hard. And A, that's obviously my thirst trap of this episode. But B, it's such a threat. It's like such a solid threat. And I've seen like threads and reposts and Tumblrs of like people saying Dean Winchester is the boogeyman of the supernatural universe.
Yeah.
Like they imagine like older demons telling younger demons like, watch out for Dean Winchester. Don't go down that target. Dean Winchester might get you, you know? So like the fact that these other hunters are like, he has such a reputation. They're like, it's Dean Winchester. Like, you cannot let him live. If you kill Sam, the only move is to also kill Dean. And then Dean's like, when I come back, he doesn't say if. He says, when I come back, I'm going to be pissed.
That was funny. I wrote that down. It's like, he knows he always comes back.
I love it. I do kind of feel like this whole episode is kind of addressing the fact that they just die and come back, die and come back, die and come back.
Well, the whole intro was just all the times they've ever died.
Oh, yeah. No, it was fantastic. I loved it so much. I was cackling.
I wrote down as well, because you know how, I think it was in our 100th episode, we were talking about how many times Sam has died. We forgot the time he was electrocuted and when he lost his shoes for the second time.
Oh, yeah, we did. Because he got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
And
we forgot that one.
I fully forgot about that. Mm-hmm. That took me out. That's amazing.
So, yeah, the intro helped me remember that. I was like, oh, yeah.
He died more than I thought. What a fun thing to say about our favorite characters. Just rock up to a supernatural thing. It's just like supernatural out of context. Like, it's so funny. Just be like, oh yeah, he died that time as well. Yeah, I forgot about the time he was electrocuted. Like, what a wild show.
Should I do the synopsis?
Yes, please.
So this is season 5, episode 16, Dark Side of the Moon. The original air date for this episode was April 1st, 2010. Sam and Dean are killed by hunters who are angry that Sam started the apocalypse, and they end up in heaven. While there, Castiel tells them they should take the opportunity to find an angel named Joshua who may be able to help them find God, while Zachariah tries to find them and send them back to their bodies. On their search, they are helped by some old friends, some old dead friends.
Some old dead friends.
Yep.
Both old and also dead. Amazing.
Yep. Oh, it kind of broke my heart when because Ash didn't know that Ellen and Joe had died, and then he's just like, he was really sad. That made me sad.
Yeah, that was very sad and very heart-wrenching, and also unlike you to bring up at this point in the episode. You're usually very like, no, I'll talk about it when we get there.
It's just because I was talking about their old dead friends, and then I thought of some more old dead friends, so
that makes sense.
But yeah, we'll talk about it properly then.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first note is just the intro was just all the times they've died. Haha, I died laughing. And then I mentioned about how we'd forgotten Sam being struck by lightning.
My actual first note is just my note about, do you want to spend the rest of your life knowing that Dean Winchester's on your ass? Because I don't. Such a good line. And then immediately after that, I was like, thirst trap, because it was. Dean. Dean being angry is always the thirst trap for me. I have issues. We all know this. It's fine.
So the opening scene, we see a motel room and there's empty beer cans everywhere. Dean's
like a concerning amount. I actually thought, because I wasn't paying attention the first time that I watched this, I actually thought that it was Rory and what's the other dude's name?
Walt.
Rory and Walt. I thought it was their beers. They were stress drinking after killing Sam and Dean. But no, I realized that's actually just like Dean and Sam being alcoholics.
Well, Dean did tell Dr. Xena that
I know that he drinks like 50, but I was like, that's
how he goes to sleep.
Oh, that's some serious consumption.
Yeah, especially for people that like spend the whole time driving. Yeah. I guess he's gonna have a hangover. He's gonna be driving in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dean's asleep, and we see what looks like a gun pointed at him, and then his eyes open, and the guy with the gun asks if he's looking for this, and he has Dean's handgun, and this guy's wearing a balaclava. And initially, I was like, what? No, he wasn't looking for anything. He was asleep. But do you think he was actually awake and could sense that the guy was there and he was trying to get his gun under his pillow?
Yeah, I do. I think he was trying to do a surprise. Fuck you. But and gotten in when he was actually asleep.
Yeah.
Passed out drunk. I also think that's why we see all of the bottles and beers and stuff, because we're supposed to think that they went on a bender about how shit everything is. And then we're like drunk asleep.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, how do two ordinary hunters get the drop on Sam and Dean Winchester? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so Dean then looks around and Sam is sitting on the other bed and Dean says, morning. And the guy, who's called Roy, we don't know that yet, tells him to shut up. And then Dean recognizes him. And he's like, wait a minute, is that you, Roy? It is, isn't it? Which makes you Walt. Hi, Walt. And then they kind of look at each other and they take their masks off because they're like, well, he knows who we are now.
Which is obviously like because their whole plan was to go and kill Sam, leave Dean alive, but not knowing who they are. But now that he knows who they are, that's when things really take a turn for like south. Obviously, it was bad before, but then it just gets even worse. This episode starts out on like a very low note.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, because they like both die again right at the beginning. But
again.
Yeah, so basically they are saying that they're there because Sam started the apocalypse and they say that he can't just walk away. And Sam says, who told you that? And Walt says that they aren't the only hunters that are after him. And he pumps his shotgun and says he'll see you in the next life. And Sam's like, hear me out, I can explain, okay? And then after a pause, Walt shoots Sam and Dean kind of jumps to go to him, obviously, because he's very protective. And Roy tells him to stay the hell down.
Walt says shoot him. And Roy says killing Sam was right. But Dean... And Walt says he made us and we just snuffed his brother, you idiot. You want to spend the rest of your life knowing Dean Winchester's on your ass? Because I don't. Shoot him. And Dean, who's been looking at Sam's body, turns to face Roy and he says, go ahead, Roy, do it. But I'm going to warn you, when I come back, I'm going to be pissed. Come on, let's get this show on the road. And it's like so badass and so angry and so hot. And they do a lot of intense close-ups of Dean's face. And then Walt says, come on already, and just shoots Dean. Because Walt's like, you got to just fucking do it. Walt was committed from day one. And to be honest with you, Walt's smarter than Roy, because Roy has more of a conscience, but Walt knows if you kill Sam, you better fucking kill Dean.
Mm-hmm. Especially if he knows who it was.
100%. They're both dead now.
Yeah. I did have in my notes that I thought of a plot hole, or what I think might be a plot hole. So Lucifer has said that if Sam dies, he's just going to bring him back. Because Sam said, well, I'll just kill myself at some point. And he's like, well, I'll just bring you back.
Yeah.
So why does everyone keep thinking that killing him is going to stop the apocalypse?
That's a good point. I guess the other hunters don't know that information because they weren't there. So I guess they don't have that, which makes sense why like that isn't happening. But I guess then we'd be looking at like Lucifer brings Sam back, and then I guess maybe Michael brings Dean back.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one without the other, because they need both players effectively. Unless Lucifer brought Sam back and got rid of Dean's body. Like what Anna was talking about doing, like spreading his atoms throughout the cosmos.
Yeah.
And then Lucifer wins. That's really the game plan. That would be my plan if I was Lucifer. I would scatter Dean's atoms across the cosmos, have Sam as the ultimate vessel, and I'd win everything. This is why I get cast as the villain in things. Casting stuff. This is totally why. Sometimes I'll be like, why do people keep... And then I'll hear myself and I'll be like, oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. My only other note for this scene was, oh no, they're both dead again. That was it. That was my opening scene.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. So the next scene, it is nighttime. We see the Impala and we hear Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door playing. Dean's sitting in the Impala kind of sleeping. He's wearing his leather jacket over his normal clothes. So it's a different outfit from what we just saw him in. Thunder is clapping in the background. So he wakes up, gets out of the car, shuts the door. Then he hears the trunk close. So he turns towards the sound. And then we see young Sam, like a teenage Sam, holding a crate of fireworks. And Dean says, Sammy? And Sam says, come on, let's go. This is the most pure scene in all of Supernatural. I will tolerate this entire episode's chicanery and bullshit just for 4th of July. I want to rewatch it now. It's like the most wholesome thing ever. Like, I feel like
that's really cute.
We just play this part of the episode. You get to have Dean threaten them. You know he lives. And then you just watch the 4th of July scene over and over again. It's great. And that's the episode. So yeah, so there's a huge thing of fireworks and Dean's like, Sammy? And Sam's like, come on, let's go. And Dean's like, this is a weird dream. And Sam puts the fireworks on the ground and pulls out a few. And he's like, you got your lighter? And he's so excited. It's so cute. And Dean checks his pockets and pulls out one of his old Zippos. And he goes, whoa, I haven't seen this in years. And I'm like, probably you burned it. You're always throwing them onto graves and just like leaving it. Sam says, fire him up. And Dean lights the fireworks and they go off shooting like these huge rockets off into the sky. And it's just beautiful. And then Dean's like, oh, I remember this. It's 4th of July, 1996. And then the fireworks kind of die off. And so he looks at Sam and Sam looks at Dean and they're both so happy. And Sam says, Dad never would have let us do anything like this. Thanks, Dean. This is great. And he hugs Dean. And Dean looks kind of startled for a second. And then he hugs Sam back and Sam pulls away. And then the music restarts and Sam lights all the fireworks and runs away. And Sam's like, fire in the hole. And the fireworks go off and Dean and Sam back away. And they're both laughing. And Sam goes out to dance under the fireworks. And then they kind of nod at each other, acknowledging like this is such a special moment that they're sharing. And there's just a brotherly nod, and then there's a bang, and then another bang, and then Dean has a flashback to being shot.
Yeah.
And then he's back in the field, but he's by himself, and he can't see anyone else. So he goes back to the Impala and hears the radio, and Castiel over the radio is like, Dean. And Dean's like, Cass? And Cass says, yeah, it's me. And he gets in the car, and Dean says, you gotta stop poking around in my dreams. I need some me time. And I was like, oh, so Cass is always in Dean's dreams. Eyebrow raised. So Cass is like, listen to me very closely. This isn't a dream. And Dean looks around and he's like, then what is it? And he says, deep down, you already know. And then you see the flash of Walt shooting Sam and then Dean. And then the camera focuses on Dean's eye partially kind of shut and his face is blank and he's dead. And Dean says, I'm dead. And Cass says, condolences.
That was so funny.
Honestly, Cass is some of the funniest shit ever. Like, he has some of the best lines.
He does.
And I feel like condolences is wildly underrated. Like, I need to make a reel or something of just Cass being like, condolences.
I'm pretty sure that is in my favorite quotes later.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Dean says, where am I? And Cass says, heaven. And Dean's like, heaven? How did I get to heaven? And he is so shook that he's in heaven.
They both do this later, don't they?
They both do it, but Dean be like, how the fuck am I in heaven? I laughed so hard. And Cass says, please, listen, this spell, this connection, it's difficult to maintain. And Dean says, wait, if I'm in heaven, then where's Sam? And Cass says, what do you see? And Dean says, what do you mean, what do I see? And Cass says, some people see a tunnel or a river. What do you see? And Dean says, nothing. My dash. I'm in my car. I'm on a road. And Cass says, all right, a road. For you, it's a road. Follow it, Dean. You'll find Sam. Follow the road. And then the radio dies. And my head was like, this is the Wizard of Oz.
So did I. Before I knew that is what they were referencing.
Yeah.
Because I have written in my notes here, my initial notes, where you need to follow the yellow brick road, Dean.
Yep.
And that's before I realised they were actually making Wizard of Oz references. And because, like, in a little while, Cass, when he's on the screen again, he has a very, like, Oz vibe as well later. And I was like, they're definitely doing it, but I didn't realise that yet.
No, it's really fun.
Yeah.
So Dean starts the Impala and drives down the highway. The moon is absolutely huge, and it looks like the whole of like the Milky Way galaxy is in the sky. There's like just millions of stars, and they're very close, and the moon is very close. I thought it was really cool.
It does look like very sort of 90s whimsy goth.
It is very 90s whimsy goth, and I loved it.
So did I.
90s whimsy goth heaven for the win. So he's driving. He sees a house. The lights are super bright. He walks inside, and doesn't initially see anything. And then we cut to Sam, who I hate this scene. It makes me so brutally uncomfortable.
Because they should have used
they should have
not this age
had
Sam.
Young Sam.
Yeah.
Because young Sam's already been cast. Why the fuck didn't they have that actor do this scene? It is horrific. Horrific to watch this like 13-year-old, 11-year-old girl grope. Which she's not actually. She just touches Jared's leg. So it's not all that bad. But like the intent is very clear. And the messaging is very clear. And it's like, she's supposed to be like 11 years old and he's like 30. And this is just...
Yeah.
This should not have gotten out of the writer's room. Like, this never should have happened.
No. I suppose it's like, because, he is supposed to be like his 11-year-old self as well in it, but it's not.
Yeah. And it's even more jarring because we just saw him being 11.
Yeah.
And now we see like 30-year-old Sam sat at this table, a fully grown-ass man in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
I
thought the same thing. Although I suppose it wouldn't quite have made, like, because Dean's trying to find like current Sam, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I felt the same way.
Also, I loved that Dean's heaven is, because we know what's happening now. So I was thinking about this as I saw the Thanksgiving scene, because I was trying to also think about anything that was not that scene. Dean's heaven is literally making Sam happy. his version of heaven is fireworks with his brother.
Yeah, and then Dean gets really judgy and annoyed with Sam about his memories.
I'm going to defend my man so hard.
I'm going to defend mine.
Prepare yourself for battle, Laura. Yeah, so basically what has happened is one of Sam's best memories is he, when he was 11, went on his first ever date with his first ever crush, dressed up in a suit and tie, which is very adorable. If you think about it as 11-year-old Sam, it's cute. Dresses up in a suit and tie to go see this girl who is obsessed with him. And her dad's like, Stephanie over here can't seem to stop talking about you. And Stephanie's like, Dad, shut up. And then we see Dean walk in, and Dean just goes, wow. Just wow. And Sam's like, Dean, what are you doing in my dream? And Dean just makes this face of like, what the hell? And then basically what happens is what we realize is they're just kind of plugged into their memories because the whole conversation is going on around an empty chair that he's left. He's not there to reply anymore, but the conversation's continuing as if Sam is actually still there. So this is when we realize this is just like a replay. So Sam's saying heaven, and Dean says, yup. And Sam goes, okay, how are we in heaven? And Dean says, all that clean living, I guess. And we just saw like all the fucking beer bottles and everything else, obviously. So that adds to the comedy. And Sam goes, no, okay, you, I get, sure. But me, maybe you haven't noticed, but I've done a few things. Took me out. And then Dean's like, you thought you were doing the right thing. And Sam says, last I checked, it wasn't the road to heaven that was paved with good intentions. And Dean's like, yeah, well, if this is the Sky Mall, it sucks. I mean, where's the triplets and the latex? You know, come on, a guy has needs. And I was just like, yeah. We take the writers, right? We take them and we put them in a boat in the sea. And then we fill that boat with chum. And then we release the sharks for that line. So
I think it's so funny that they like don't think they should be in heaven. Like all they do is save the world or try to save the world. They might have started the apocalypse, little apocalypse. But they
drunk demon blood, killed people, drank blood like a vampire.
They're just trying to save the world.
Started the apocalypse. Yeah. Okay.
I know that Dean did technically already go to hell.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he thinks he should be there again. And Sam, as he puts it, has done a few things.
Yeah, Dean thinks he belongs downstairs because he's been downstairs and
he doesn't believe in himself.
It felt like he deserved it because he got off of being tortured by torturing other souls, and he hates himself for that.
Yeah.
Because he's such a black and white thinker. So to him now, he himself is evil and unforgivable now because he gave in to his pain. And in his mind, that is unforgivable. But what's really cute is the way they defend each other. Sam's like, you could be in heaven. I totally understand that, but me? And Dean's like, but you thought you were doing the right thing. So cute. So back to the scene. Sam is talking about how when you bite the dust, they say your life flashes before your eyes. And Dean's like, what's your point? And Sam says, this house is one of my memories. Dean says, when I woke up in one of my memories. The 4th of July, we burned down that field. And Sam says, maybe that's what heaven is, a place where you relive your greatest hits. And Dean's like, wait, so playing footsie with Brave's face in there, then that's a trophy moment for you? And Sam's like, Dean, I was 11 years old. That was my first real Thanksgiving. And Dean says, what are you talking about? We had Thanksgiving every year. And Sam says, we had a bucket of extra crispy chicken and Dad passed out on the couch. That just paints a lovely picture. And also, I would like to take the opportunity to say that before this episode, my hatred of John was real. After this episode, my hatred of John has amped up to like nuclear levels.
We say this every time. We hate him more and more.
we do hate him more and more. But I feel like before, the writers were like, he's a good man. It's just been bad circumstances. And then recently in this season, The writers are like, John's the worst man to ever live. That will just make it even worse. Every episode, there's something that makes it worse.
But it's like, I know that he was like a one-track mind trying to find the yellow-eyed demon to like avenge Mary's death or whatever. But you can't have one day where you have a Thanksgiving dinner with your sons, or even Christmas, because we know they didn't have Christmas dinners either.
And also abandoning
birthdays.
his wife and children, having an argument, and then literally storming out like a toddler and leaving them for days or weeks. And Dean is like, it's okay, mommy. He still loves you at the age of, I don't know, 5 or whatever. Like, it's just, kill him. Burn him with fire.
Well, he is in hell.
I hope that he broke out, which is really unfair because Dean did not break out. I mean, like, Dean got picked up by an angel, but like, he had terrible things happen. I feel like John should have just been down there by himself, alone, forever. So mad he got out of hell. That was a really cool scene, but I'm still like just watching.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's not there anymore.
So angry.
Yeah.
So angry.
So then there's a rumbling noise outside, and Dean and Sam look around, and Sam's like, I don't remember this. And then the lights go out, and the house begins to shake. And Dean's like, hey, we should. And then Sam's like, definitely. They run to the far corner of a room. Sam stands up beside the window, and Dean ducks behind the couch. The glass in the picture on the mantel breaks. The family continues eating. A searchlight streams through the window. Dean drops down lower. More furniture falls over. More glass breaks. The searchlight disappears. The lights come on in the house. Sam and Dean leave the hiding places. The family is still eating and talking in the background. Dean sees a radio and goes to it, and Sam follows. Now, my initial notes here are, heaven is scarier than I expected, because like the searchlight stuff is actually pretty scary. Mm-hmm. And also, I love how Sam's hiding was just him standing in a corner. Because I was like, there's no way he could have known the searchlight thing wouldn't have just seen him there. And Dean was hiding behind the sofa, which was a better idea. But he just stands, and he's like a huge man. He's just standing in a corner. I was like, good hiding, Sam.
For someone who is actually a genius, at times he's not very smart.
Maybe he was too big to go behind the sofa.
That's the only thing that I can think of. Just Jared that made not
me
fitting.
That made me chuckle though, how he was just standing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they see this radio. Dean tries to get the radio to work to speak to Cass again. Sam thinks that he's losing his mind. Cass then comes on the TV, all Oz-like I was saying before, and tells them that Zachariah is trying to locate them and send them back. And Sam's like, well, that's what you want, isn't it? And Cass tells them that they have a rare opportunity while they're there to find God. So they need to find a garden and an angel called Joshua, because he talks to God, and to follow the road again.
So I have some fun facts for you guys, like a little bit of lore. So Cass tells them that it's called the road through heaven. It's called the Axis Mundi. And it's a path that runs through heaven. Different people see it as different things. For you, it's 2-lane asphalt. The road will lead you to the garden. You'll find Joshua there, and Joshua can take us to God. And then he tells them to go quick and hurry. And so I looked some stuff up, because I was like, I do remember Joshua being special.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just kind of like quickly refresh my knowledge. And then I was also like, I'm sure the Axis Mundi is actually a thing. In like latitude, longitude, astrology stuff. So I went and I looked that up too. And this is what I found. So there's a passage from the Bible, and it goes like this. Joshua asked the Lord to cause the sun and the moon to stand still so that he could finish the battle in daylight. According to the text, the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down about a full day. This event is most notable because, quote, there has been no day like it before or since when the Lord heeded the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. So, like, he has this whole role in the Bible with the 10 Commandments, carrying the 10 Commandments. He interacts directly with God. But not just that. Like, Joshua says, please make the day last longer so that I can finish this battle during the daylight. And God is like, yeah, cool, done. And just stops the passage of time for him. And then he also intervened in the battle and like threw hail at Joshua's enemies. So that's unique.
Yeah.
So the concept in Supernatural that Joshua is special and unique and has God's ear, it actually checks out as biblical lore. Like that does track, that is accurate, which I thought was really interesting.
I like it when they base the lore on like something real, but maybe give it a bit of a twist. But
Yeah.
I like it when it is based in something.
Yeah. Okay. So in astronomy, Axis Mundi is the Latin term for the axis of Earth between the celestial poles. In a geocentric coordinate system, this is the axis of rotation of the celestial sphere. Consequently, in ancient Greco Roman astronomy, the axis mundi is the axis of rotation of the planetary spheres within the classic geocentric model of the cosmos. Then in the 18th century, we start seeing illustrations of different holy places showing things that may link to the Axis Mundi. So the article on Wikipedia goes on to say that in 20th century comparative mythology, the term Axis Mundi, also called the cosmic axis, world axis, world pillar, center of the world, or world tree, has been greatly extended to refer to any mythological concept representing the connection between heaven and earth, or the higher and lower realms. Mircea Eliade introduced the concept in the 1950s. The axis mundi closely relates to the mythological concept of the omphalos, or navel of the world or cosmos. Items represented as examples of the axis mundi by comparative mythologists include plants, notably a tree, but also other types of plants, such as vines or stalks, a mountain, a column of smoke or fire, a product of human manufacture, such as a staff, a tower, a ladder, a staircase, a maypole, a cross, a steeple, a rope, a totem pole, a pillar, or a spire, or in this case, a road. Its proximity to heaven may carry implications that are chiefly religious or secular. The image appears in religious and secular contexts, and the axis mundi symbol may be found in cultures utilizing shamanic practices or animist belief systems, in major world religions, and in technologically advanced urban centers. And then Aleda goes on to say that every microcosm, every inhabited region has a center, that is to say, a place that is sacred above all. And basically, that's what the Axis Mundi is functioning as. In this episode, the Axis Mundi is the road through heaven.
Yeah, that's cool. That was a good lore to find and an Easter egg to find, because I wasn't sure what you were going to do for this one.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I also have near-death experiences, because those are always fun. So I have some fun stuff to read later on when we get towards that. And I also found some really fun behind-the-scenes stuff where the actress who played Pamela gave an interview about working with Jensen and Jared, and also about them pranking her, and it is hilarious. So nice. I'm really excited.
So at this point in the episode, this is where we get the actual Wizard of Oz reference, because Dean says something about hitting the yellow bricks and to find this Joshua cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Sam's basically surprised that Dean thinks they should actually do what Cass just said, because he says, last time I checked, you wanted to break God's nose. Now you think he can help? And Dean says he's the only one who can. I mean, come on, Sam, we're royally boned. So prayer, the last hope of a desperate man. And then they go outside and the road has disappeared. There's just woods there now. Dean goes back inside and starts looking inside the house for roads. And he then finds a scale electric set. Is that how you say that? And I used to love I had scale electric, did you?
Hot Wheels for Americans.
Yeah, but it's Hot Wheels cars that go round the track.
Yeah, that actually
and he had like a little
remote
control thing that
went
and put them around. Yeah.
I just feel like if you said that to me, I would have no idea what you're talking about. But if you said Hot Wheels with a remote controller, then I would know. So that's why I'm just saying that, just for any American.
Maybe that is just what it was called here then. But that's that was like what the set was called here. But they were like little Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah, so much fun.
And they always used to wear out, didn't they? Because they had like little metal kind of bits on the bottom of them to make them go around the track. And you'd have to keep replacing them over all the time really quickly.
We were way too poor to ever have those toys, so I only played with my friend's version of that, so that was never my problem, which was nice. That's like the advantage of being the poor kid, I guess. Like, you get to play with it, but you don't have to replace it.
I remember getting really annoyed because they'd wear out really quickly, and they were like my brother's, but I used to play them.
Yeah.
Dean sees this and he points out that he had one as a kid and starts to play with it, and then they're transported somewhere else. It sounds like that was the road. And Dean says, I guess. And Dean has now got a t-shirt on that says, I love hugs, and Sam notices that and takes the piss.
Yeah. Dean's like, kind of trippy, right? And Sam goes, yeah. And then he looks at Dean's shirt and he goes, more trippy. Apparently you love hugs. And Dean covers his t-shirt up and he goes, shut up.
Aww.
And then they look around and Dean's like, wait, I know where we are. And Sam's like, where? And then Dean's like, we're home. And then you hear Mary going, Dean. And then they turn around and there's Mary in the doorway and she says, hey, Dean, you hungry? And they're shooketh. Okay. They have no idea what to do with themselves. It's very cute. And I want you guys to know that I found this t-shirt that they're actually making it online to sell to us because they know what fans are like. So I've included the link in my show notes to the exact t-shirt that he's wearing.
That's
I'm
cool.
gonna buy it for myself later.
Anyway, it's cute how much they love their mom. Oh, and Sam is always, like, when he sees Mary, he's always just so cute because obviously he never saw her.
He's awestruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Dean's sitting at the kitchen table and Mary's pouring him milk. He has a sandwich in front of him and he smiles at her. And she says, you want the crust cut off? And Dean says, yeah, I'd love that. And Sam's like, Mom? And there's no response. And Dean says, I guess isn't your memory. Sorry, Sam. And Sam's like, Dina, we should go. Keep looking for the road. And Dean's like, just give me a minute, okay?
Yes,
Sam's like, Dean. And Dean's like, Sam, please, 1 minute. And Sam kind of nods. And Mary ruffles Dean's hair as she moves away from the table and the phone rings. And Dean turns to watch her answer it. And I just want to pause for a minute and just say that, like, as much as I love this memory for Dean, I feel so sorry for Sam because he's invisible to her. Like, there are all these situations where it just feels as if he's invisible to her, or she's invisible to him. Like, he being such a small child when she passed away, like, he has nothing. He has nothing. It's so hard when you really think about, like, what his happiest memories are, knowing that he never had access to Mary ever. And the closest thing that he had to a stable parent was actually Dean.
Yeah.
That's like, ooh.
See, this is part of my argument that we're going to have later about when Dean doesn't, like, appreciate Sam's memories. It's like, because he doesn't have the same memories as you, Dean.
So Mary picks up the phone and says, hello? No, John. We're not having this conversation again. Think about
John.
what? You've 2 boys at home. Dean says, I remember this. Mom and Dad were fighting and then he moved out for a couple of days. And I'm like, what did he, in my notes, it's just like, what were they arguing about? What fuckery did John do?
Yeah.
And then Dean says that John moved out for a few days. And Sam says Dad always said they had the perfect marriage. And Dean says it wasn't perfect until after she died. And Mary's on the phone and says, fine, then don't. There's nothing more to talk about. And she hangs up and she's like trying not to cry. And you just think this absolute fucker is abandoning this beautiful, perfect woman and his children to do whatever bullshit this is, side quest nonsense, whatever this is. And I don't know what we're supposed to think. I don't know if we're supposed to think that he had met someone else. Was he having an affair? That seems unlikely. Like, did he want to go and do, I don't know, race car driving? Like, what is it? Because he's a mechanic.
Before all the hunting stuff.
He's just a mechanic, right? Like, I don't know if we never saw him have any other dreams. So I don't know if he's like, I'm going to go be an actor or whatever it is. But it's obviously something that she thinks would either be dangerous or would take him away from them for so long that it would be a huge problem. And it's clearly an abandonment of his family. I just burn him. John is the worst. So then Dean, this part breaks my heart.
He's
It makes
so
me
cute.
cry. This is why I will always and forever be a Dean girl. Right here. It's the fireworks scene and this scene right here. Right here. So Dean hugs her and says, "It's okay, Mom. Dad still loves you. I love you too. I'll never leave you." And Sam has an epiphany. And you see it happen. And she kind of cradles Dean's head in her hands and says, "You're my little angel. How about some pie? Okay." And there's a whole bunch of Reddit threads being like, "Oh, this is why Dean loves pie. This is why it's his comfort thing. It's because it's what Mary gave him.
Yeah.
He's probably used to having like homemade pie, and it makes him think of his mom, and that's why he wants pie." And I was like, "Well, that's very sweet."
Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah. So Sam says, "I just never realized how long you've been cleaning up Dad's messes." And Dean says, "Whatever, let's keep moving." He just kind of brushes it off.
Yeah.
But it's just so tragic. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're searching the house and opening all these different places and trying to figure out what's going on. And then Sam finds a Route 66 postcard. And he says, "I've seen this somewhere else before." And Dean's like, "Where?" And then we cut to like this like abandoned house shack. I don't know where it's supposed to be. It's fucked up. It's what it is. It's like he's clearly squatting.
Yeah. Well, I had a question about this because he said that it's Flagstaff, and I know that they've talked about this before, and I feel like it was Bobby. They said something about it with Bobby before. I know they've mentioned this before, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. I think Flagstaff gets mentioned, but I don't know that they filled in the blanks.
No,
and I think this is them filling in the blanks. If we're wrong, feel free to comment and correct us if we've missed something, forgotten something. But I think it's that Bobby goes and rescues them from John losing his shit. Which does sound like what would have gone down in this situation.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. I know that it's been mentioned before.
And then I think also this is when John abandons Dean, right? Because Dean gets arrested shoplifting to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which he wanted to get for Sam, who's going back to Sam. Meanwhile, Sam has run away. And then Dean gets sent to the boys' home and has like his one happy memory, stable memory. So we see all these Route 66 postcards, which we know is important to the show. We know it's something that Kripke kind of embedded in the storytelling. And we've covered loads of Route 66 lore and myths and stuff. So I just wanted to put down that I thought that was an interesting nod. All these postcards. And so Dean steps out in front of them and he's wearing his grown-up clothes again. Though he's wearing his like green coat instead of his leather coat. And Sam's clothes have changed too. He's wearing a different shirt and a slightly different coat. And Dean says, "Where are we?" And Sam's like, "No way." And then a golden retriever runs in and he's like, "Bones, hey, come here." And it's the most delighted you've ever seen Sam in your life. And it was just so wholesome and
that
sweet.
That dog was so cute.
The dog is so cute. And also my dog's mom was a golden retriever named Bone. And they look almost identical to each other. So this one always gives me all of the feelings.
That is a cute dog.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. So Dean looks on as the dog is licking Sam's face and super excited. And Sam's like, "Hey, hey, hey." And Dean goes, "Bones?" And Sam says, "Yeah, Bones was my dog. Hey." And Sam stands up and goes to this like really broken down coffee table. And there's a pizza box there. And he goes, your dog?" And Sam says, "Yeah." And then he starts pulling pizza out of the box. And Bones is right beside him, tail wagging. And Dean's looking around, being like, having a realization. And then he goes, "Is this Flagstaff?" And Sam's so happy. And he says, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Hey, boy," because Bones is still all like, "Hi, hi, hi, hi," the way the golden retrievers do. And Dean says, "This is a good memory for you?" And Sam's laughing. He says, "Yeah, I mean, I was on my own for 2 weeks. I lived on Funyuns and Mr. Pibb." And then he feeds Bones some of the pizza. And Dean's like, "Wow." And Sam says, "What?" And Dean says, "Well, you don't remember, do you? You ran away on my watch. I looked everywhere for you. I thought you were dead. And when Dad came home." So the implication is John beat the shit out of him. And
yeah.
Sam looks really guilty. And Dean looks super upset about it. And Sam says, Dean, look, I'm sorry. I never thought about it like that. And Dean's like, forget it. Let's roll.
So again, John left his children and then blames one of those children when one of them goes missing.
Yeah.
Even though it's his fault for leaving them in the first place.
Yeah. It's a pattern. He belonged in hell. That's all I'm saying. So then Sam tells Bones to stay. And then he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot going on in this scene, like emotionally speaking, because for Dean, your heart is broken. But it's Sam's like happiest memory. And the dog is so fucking cute and he loves it and he's reluctant to leave. Like you can tell that he doesn't want to leave Bones.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to leave this memory.
It's probably the only time he's had a pet.
Yeah, the only time he's really had a dog properly. And I think also because Jared is such a dog person in real life, his acting with this dog is so good. Like he's so happy. It's really cute.
Yeah. So then they go outside and find themselves by what looks like an abandoned house. And Sam, you can tell that Sam realizes where they are, but he doesn't tell Dean at first. And then Dean remembers. And this is this is why I put the Dean is judging Sam's memories again. Stop ruining Sam's memories, Dean.
Shut up, Laura.
As we've discussed, like I do understand where Dean is coming from, but also he could also understand or try to understand where Sam was coming from. Like he didn't have the family memories that Dean did. And he points out, doesn't he, that he doesn't have the same association to family as Dean. And Dean's like, but I'm your family, which that bit I get. But also, if he wants to have a memory, like stop judging people for their memories.
Oh no.
You can't help which ones are coming through.
No. Because here's my hot take on this.
Maybe he was happy to not be near John.
Sam's memories, there's nothing inherently wrong with Sam's memories, right? And we can understand why Sam wanted to get away from John. Of course we can. What Dean is heartbroken about is that Dean's happiest memories are his times with Sam.
Yeah.
And Sam's happiest memories are his times by himself away from everyone else. And that is heart-wrenching. And like we can say, oh, you can't judge a memory. But I think if you were in his shoes and it was someone that you loved, you would also probably feel a little heartbroken, a little abandoned. And I feel like when Dean says, yeah, he wasn't the only one you got away from, Dean's thoughts and feelings are clearly like Sam, he feels like Sam wanted to escape him too.
But I don't think it is that though, is it?
But I can understand why he feels that way because he did. That's exactly what he did. Sam didn't call. Sam didn't keep in touch. Sam didn't want Dean in his life. He didn't try to let Dean be a part of his life, which we know from the pilot from episode 1. So like when you think about it in that context, Dean's feelings make a lot more sense and he seems a lot less overly sensitive because the truth is Sam did abandon Dean. And then when you look back at their childhood and you know everything start to finish, you really feel for Dean because it's like, this is the man who was a child, who gave up his childhood, who gave up all of his food, who got arrested trying to feed him. And Sam's happiest moments are not with Dean. So like it is earth-shatteringly, like heartbreakingly sad for Dean, which is understandable. I don't think that either of them is right or wrong. No. I think they were both right. But I can see the heartbreak on both sides because Sam's heartbreak is that he felt like he was a freak. He was an outcast. We know that from his other younger memories, right? So it makes perfect sense that his happiest time, he was just by himself. He was just by himself. He had junk food. He had a dog. He was chilling. He doesn't have the same idea of family because he never fucking met Mary. He has no idea who Mary was. He doesn't have any of those memories. Of course it makes sense that his dream is like Home Alone. He just wants to be Kevin McAllister. He just wants to be in his own space without someone telling him that his existence is wrong. And for Dean, his happiness is Sam and making Sam happy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both valid. But it's like the heartbreak level in this episode truly hits differently.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he would have like necessarily wanted to abandon Dean, but he needed to get away from John, didn't he? And like in order to do that, he had to leave them both. But yeah, no, I understand why Dean is upset. But yeah, but also see Sam's.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like, I get it, but I'm with Dean. I don't forgive him either. It's a shit thing to do to Dean. And I understand it. It doesn't make him a terrible person, but I don't forgive him at the same time because that was a really cruel thing to do. It's a lighthearted episode this week, guys. Super lighthearted. So basically what happens next is Sam and Dean have it out, and Dean's like, oh, I know you didn't think of it like that. And Sam's like, Dean. And Dean's like, come on, your heaven is somebody else's Thanksgiving, okay? It's bailing on your family. What do you want me to say? Sam says, man, I never got the crust cut off my PB&J. I just don't look at family the same way you do. And Dean's like, yeah, but I'm your family. And Sam says, I know. And Dean's like, I mean, we're supposed to be a team. It's supposed to be you and me against the world, right? And Sam's like, Dean, it is. And then he pauses and he's like, is it? And Sam looks absolutely devastated. And honestly, in this moment, if I could have put myself inside the TV to give Sam a hug, I would have. Because Sam, for the first time in his life, I think is realizing how his decisions impacted his brother, and how Dean sees it is completely different from how Sam sees it. Sam's intentions were never any of that. And so realizing that, you can actively see his heartbreak in real time, and you're just like, oh my God, Sam. So then the searchlight comes back. They're running through the woods, and Zachariah says, I hate Zachariah, but this is hilarious. Zachariah has some of the best lines. He says, wow, running from angels on foot in heaven. With out of the box thinking like that, I'm surprised you boys haven't stopped the apocalypse already. He snaps his fingers and makes everything daytime. He's like, guys, what's the problem? I just want to send you back to Earth. That's all. I mean, that is after I tear you a cosmos of new ones. You're on my turf now, boys. And by the time I'm through with you, you're going to be begging to say yes. So Sam and Dean are just running for their lives, or I guess afterlives. And Zachariah turns and sees them and he smiles evilly. And they're running flat out, and they stop suddenly because Zachariah just drops in front of them and says, guys, come on, you can run, but you can't run. And I was like, I get it, but that's kind of it puts the horror in horror, you know? Sort of a circular sentence. So Dean and Sam turn to run back the way that they came, and this time there is a luchador in front of them from nowhere. Luchador. And he has a colorful mask and a gold cape, and then he lifts one finger to his mouth to indicate that they should be silent and says, shh. And then, hurry, this way. And then he leads them to this wooden shack, scribbles symbols on the door, and then opens it and run inside, and Sam and Dean follow him in. And Sam's like, wait, who are you? And the room inside is the roadhouse, and it's way bigger than it's supposed to be. It's bigger on the inside. It's the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And then Ash takes the mask off of his face and shouts, Buenos dias, bitches! It's amazing. He claps his hands twice and the lights come on they're on the clapper. Clap on, clap off. Anybody who's too young is going to have no idea what that is, but you can Google it, so you'll be fine. And then he says, welcome to my blue heaven. And they realize that they're in the roadhouse.
Yay.
Woo.
In fact, my notes just say, it's Ash and the roadhouse. Yay! And a heart.
I was like, why is he a luchador? But okay.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Was it just this disguise?
Yeah, I guess. I guess he loves luchadors.
Does he like a Mexican wrestling?
Yeah, Mexican wrestling is super fucking cool, so fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in this scene, when he's talking to them and he says, you boys die more than anyone I have ever met.
Yeah. I love that bit.
I laughed so hard. I pulled
so did I. I love pointing out that they're always dying.
This is so good.
So yeah, basically, Ash just explains to them how heaven works, and how it's all like individual little heavens for people, and most people can't go to other people's heavens, but he can because he's clever, basically.
Yeah, he's a genius.
And Sam asks him how he found them, and Ash says he made a holy rolling police scanner. And he gets a laptop out from under the bar and starts it up.
He talks about all the people that he's met in heaven. Johnny Cash, Andre the Giant. And then he looks at Sam when he says Andre the Giant, and that's funny. He says Einstein. And then he talks about the guy who invented the Kama Sutra. And he says that heaven, sweaty and confusing. And then Sam asks how they found him. And then he says he rigged up his very own holy rolling police scanner, like Laura said. And this is when he pulls out his laptop. And we see this weird mess of like sound graphs. And then it's making crazy noises. And it hurts us.
Science.
It burns. And he says, that's angels blabbing Enochian. Okay, I'm fluent. And then he turns it off. And he says, I heard that you were up. Of course, I had to come find you again. And he's like, again? And Ash says, this ain't the first time here. I mean, you boys die more than anyone I've ever met.
True.
And
true story.
Dean's like, really? And Ash is like, yeah, you don't remember God. Angels must have Windexed your brain. And that was also funny. And Sam says, so, I mean, have you found anybody else? Ellen and Joe? And he's like, Ellen and Joe are dead. And you could just see they've wrecked his world.
Yeah.
And Dean can't even talk because
Dean looks really
he loves
sad.
Joe.
Yeah.
Sam says, yeah, a few months now, sorry. And then Ash takes like a minute to compose himself and he says, they went down fighting. And Sam says, yeah, till the end. And Dean says bitterly, yeah, a lot of good it did. How about our folks? And then he says that he's never seen Mary or John in heaven. I was like, John? That makes sense to me. Mary? Where is Mary? So then they go to a back room and there's Enochian stuff like everywhere. So we realize that Ash has like hacked heaven and doing all the witchcraft and fun stuff. And then he comes back with Pamela Barnes. And Sam's like, Pamela! And I was like, good, she's going to grope everyone now.
Yeah.
And then
basically
we see a close-up of Pamela. We realize she has her eyeballs back, which is nice for her. And she says, nice to see you boys again. And Ash goes, ooh, in the background.
Yeah, she can see again.
Yeah, because then they have this whole joking back and forth about how Pamela's angry that she's dead and it's their fault. And then Ash is like, it's definitely your fault. I'm dead too, but I'm not mad.
Yeah, he's like, I'm cool with it.
He's like, I'm over it. Oh yeah, I'm cool with it. It's so funny when he's just like, I'm cool with it.
Because Pamela like slaps Dean around the head. I'm like, that wasn't called for.
Yeah.
They didn't force you to do what you were supposed to be doing. What you did to die.
Yeah. I feel like she made a lot of stupid decisions too.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of things were open and unlocked. It's like, of course
it was their fault. It was their fault that she was blinded.
Yeah.
Actually,
that was Cass. Also her.
And it was Cass.
It was Cass a little bit, but it was also her because Cass is like, don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Bad things will happen if you force yourself to. You shouldn't do that. I don't even blame Cass for this. This is all Pamela. Pamela's like, no, I don't scare that easily. Blinds herself.
True.
Damn it, Pam.
Yeah. I like how Ash is just like, I'm cool with it. And
Ash is cool. So then they start talking about the afterlife, and Dean's pointing out that it's basically the Matrix because you're just trapped in your own little universe of memories while the angels are running the show.
Yeah.
And she says the attic's better than the basement. And Dean's like, yeah, but it feels real, but it's not. And she says it's close enough. I'm happy and at peace. And she says that she knows that Michael wants to take him out for a test drive. And she's like, what's the worst that will happen if you do that? And Dean's like, well, a lot of people will die. And then Pamela's like, well, and then they'll end up here. Is that really so bad? And I'm like, see, again, this is why, like, she just never jives with me.
No, and it was weird that she even brought that up. Like,
she was like, yeah, cool, let everybody die. That's fine.
I thought maybe she was in on it, like with Zachariah or something, because it's like, oh, try and get him to say yes to Michael. It's like, why does she even bring that up?
Yeah, true. So then Ash basically reveals that he can get them into the garden, and he starts doing a sigil. Like they're all kind of gathered around, and he starts drawing a sigil on a door and says that it's an all access pass to the Magic Kingdom. And he's like, good. And that's another Disney reference, obviously. And then Dean goes, not good. And Ash says that Zachary fellow is going to be watching every road to the garden.
And then Pamela gives the inappropriate goodbyes.
Yep. So she hugs Sam and does not violate Sam, which is interesting because usually she does.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna like grab his ass or something.
No, and then she makes out with Dean. Dean's into it. And this is where I have my little insert here, which this is so fun. So I found the first thing that I found on Tumblr, and I'm not sure how reliable this story is because they don't really give a source for it, the person who wrote this article. And then there's nowhere else that I can find. Like, I can't find a second source. So I'm going to read it because it's really entertaining, but like take it with an enormous grain of salt. And then I have her interview, the actress's interview on her time on Supernatural, which is really entertaining. Okay, so this is the Tumblr one. And it cuts into the article saying, add that to his tendency, talking about Jensen Ackles, his tendency to make actors comfortable. Annette O'Toole said that he knew how to take care of other actors in a scene, and that this was something that she associated with older veteran actors, not actors of Jensen's generation, because he was still really young when he did Smallville. She talks about this scene in the Smallville season 4 finale where it's Jensen's job to be scary and threatening to her, and how in between takes he was sitting with her to talk quietly and make sure that everything was okay. And then the person who wrote this post said, add to that his approach to any kind of love scene was, quote, my attention goes to her, to whether she's comfortable, Ackles says. I'll be like, listen, guys, she's got to take her shirt off, and she's only got this nude kind of piece across her chest. Let's clear the set out. I don't want to see anybody that doesn't have to be here. This is not a free show. Get out. And then they go on to say, add to that Tracy Dinwiddie, who plays Pamela, said that he sucked on a Jolly Rancher before their scene in Dark Side of the Moon so that he would like have a nice flavor in his mouth, because they're obviously Frenching, which is really considerate. Really, really, really considerate. So that was written by Coffee and Cheesecake on a Tumblr thread thing, and I have it linked if you guys want to read that. And then this is the article, the interview with Tracy. Okay, so this is the excerpt from the interview with Tracy. So it says, it would appear that Supernatural stars Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, who play Sam and Dean Winchester, are fast becoming an urban legend all on their own for what seems to be a growing notoriety concerning their penchant for playing pranks on guest stars. Dinwiddie tells us that she was forewarned and that Jared and Jensen are quite the pranksters. She said, I stayed on alert for any of their mischief. And she's kind of cackling while talking about how she came to realize that she might have been a bit too paranoid about waiting on the two known pranksters to spring one of their tricks on her. She said, one night when I returned to my hotel room to find the radio blasting some static and the bathroom trash can placed on top of the toilet with water running in the sink, I thought, no, they couldn't have gotten into my room, could they? I called the front desk and found out that it was just that the maid had not turned down my room properly. What a trip. Tracy tells us with a laugh over how the boys managed to get one over on her without even having to do a thing. Of course, now that we've possibly given Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki new ideas on how to pull pranks on guest stars just by psyching them out, I asked Tracy what her experiences were like actually working with the two lead actors of Supernatural. The question elicited a wicked smile from the beautiful Dinwiddie as she told me, with instructions to insert wild Jane of the Jungle roar here, let's just say I would happily indulge in a supernatural sandwich consisting of equal parts Jared and Jensen.
I bet she would.
I bet she would too. Who wouldn't? Honestly, very relatable. But it's just really funny. Like, the whole article's a funny read. She talks about like when she was younger, she was a cheerleader, And she used to psych out the other cheerleaders by like they'd have like girls' nights and slumber parties, and she'd pretend to be possessed by demons.
That's fun.
It's hilarious. So yeah, and apparently she plays some variation on a drum, and other people found out about that and were like asking her to play drums and stuff. So
Yeah.
it just feels like she's similar to her character, but better, in my opinion, because I don't like Pamela, but I like Tracy a lot. This article, she comes across very cool, very like fun and funny. It's just such a good read. So that's in my show notes if you want to read that.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, so they make out, and then Dean says, "Keep a sixer on ice for us," to Ash, and Ash says, "Yeah," and then they walk out to go to the garden.
But then they find themselves back in their childhood home, and they're really confused.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary appears, but it's not Mary. She's like an evil Mary.
She is an evil Mary. So she starts mentally torturing Dean. And it's like,
nice.
How about I tell you about my nightmare, Dean, the night I burned? And then she starts getting all ripped up and stuff in front of them. And Dean's like, Sammy, let's get out of here. And Mary says, don't you walk away from me. I never loved you. You were my burden. I was shackled to you. Look at what it got me. And then her eyes turn yellow.
Don't listen to her, Dean.
I know. And everyone looks devastated. Like, this is so fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
we see like green lights come on in the house, and it makes it look like a haunted house.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking he made a Matrix reference earlier. So I was like, this is such a Matrix kind of reference, it feels like. And then she goes on to describe in like gory detail her death scene.
Yeah.
And it's horrific.
And making Dean feel bad about it and like it was his fault.
Yep, exactly. And then Zachariah turns up and says, easy now, kitten. And this also, it just gets worse.
Ugh. He turns up and he's a massive perv. Yeah.
He's a massive perv and is like, oh yeah, I'm getting to know your mother in the biblical sense, is like the whole thing. Like, what?
The only funny thing I thought he said was when he describes himself as like what he looks like in in heaven, because he says, in heaven I have 6 wings and 4 faces, one of whom's a lion. You see this because you're limited.
Yeah, that was good. It's also a biblically accurate description, and interestingly makes him sound like he's a cherub.
That's what that's what I thought from what they said about Cupids and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting and gross in this context.
He was gross.
So Dean starts mouthing off because it's what Dean does, and I love him for it. And then Zachariah starts slamming into Dean and beating him up. And he says that he's cleared his entire schedule to torture them, basically. And that the other angels are laughing at him because he's getting the runaround from the Winchesters, basically. And he says that he deserves it, and he refers to them as maggots. And then this is the other line from him that I left. He said, and I'll tell you why. Lucifer may be strong, but I'm petty.
Yeah.
And he threatens them. And that I'm petty was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Because he says the last person you want to be your enemy is me. He's like, Lucifer might be strong, but I'm petty. And it was great.
I just wrote at the end of this speech that he does, oh, so he's angry because his ego has been hurt. Toxic masculinity alert. He would be a manosphere man now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he gets so angry with them just because other angels are laughing at him.
Can't handle it. Yeah. So then this is when we see Joshua, and Joshua comes in, and he's wearing a very different outfit. He's wearing like denim. And he says, excuse me, sir. And then Zachariah says, I'm in a meeting. And Joshua says, I'm sorry, I need to speak to those two. And Zachariah is like, excuse me? And Joshua is like, it's a bad time, I know, but I'm afraid I have to insist. And Zachariah is like, you don't get to insist on jack squat. And he doesn't back down. He just says, no, you're right, but the boss does, his orders. And he's like, you're lying. And Joshua says, I wouldn't lie about this. Look, fire me if you want. Sooner or later, he's going to come back home, and you know what he's like with that whole wrath thing. And so Zachariah looks at Sam and Dean and then looks at Joshua, and Joshua is like not moving a muscle. He's just like, what? And then we hear the flutter of wings and all the other angels have disappeared.
Yeah. Go away, Zachariah.
Fuck off. So then we get the botanical garden scene.
Yeah. And yeah, basically Sam asks Joshua if he can get a message to God from them. And Joshua says that God actually has a message for them, and it's to back off. And he says he knows what they want to tell him and what the angels are doing. He also knows the apocalypse has begun, but he doesn't think it's his problem. He's done lots for them already, and he's not doing any more. And I wrote, he doesn't think it's his problem. Cool.
He literally says, God saved you already. He put you on that plane. He brought back Castiel. He granted you salvation in heaven. He looks at Sam and like gives him like absolute like death glare when he says that. And after everything you've done too, which he says also to Sam, poor Sam. He says it's more than he's intervened in a long time. He's finished. Magic amulet or not, you won't be able to find him. And it's just like da 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 da.
Yeah. I liked it when Dean calls God
another deadbeat dad with a bunch of excuses. He says, I'm used to that. I'll muddle through.
Yeah. Yeah, this is then when I wrote about Joshua seems nice, for an angel, but do we trust him though? I'm not sure. And then I put the bar is pretty low when it comes to angels though.
Yeah. He tells them that he's rooting for them.
Yeah.
And that he's going to send them home. And this time God wants them
to remember. They're going to remember. Ooh.
Yeah.
They don't remember any of the other times, like Ash was pointing out.
Yeah. Probably for the best, especially in Dean's case.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, that was millions of times he's died. So then he transports them back to Earth, and they wake up where they were shot on their beds in the motel. And Cass comes to the motel and looks sad because God doesn't want to help them.
He calls God a son of a bitch. He has a rage moment. It's just so wholesome to me. I don't know why, but it makes me so happy. He's like, you son of a bitch. I believed in you. He doesn't say you at the end. He just says, I believed it, and then just rages out.
Oh, this is the amulet bit at the end. Cass gives Dean the amulet back because he's basically like, this is useless. And Dean puts it in the bin.
And Sam is very sad.
But that was a gift from little Sammy.
Yeah.
And I hope that Sam picked it up out of the bin when he left.
Totally.
Yeah. Did Dean put it in the bin because he hates Sam now? Because his memories are not.
He was like, your heaven has no bee in it. I hate you forever. Die.
This is what I think of your necklace.
Yeah. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. I hope Sam rescued it.
Yeah. I feel like he probably did.
Yeah. Well, one day Dean will probably be like, oh, I wish I didn't throw out that amulet when I hated you that time. And then Sam will be like, well, here you go. I saved it.
Yeah. An excellent prediction, Laura.
So yeah, so it was a bit depressing again at the end.
I mean, it's a supernatural episode. Everybody died. Everybody came back. We were all emotionally traumatized. It's like it's a Tuesday.
What are they going to do about the apocalypse now, though? When God's not going to help them. That was the only idea that Cass had about stopping it.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're left on a cliffhanger, because they love to do that to us. They love to be like, the only answer that you thought you had, no, not an answer. It turns out,
I guess it's not going to be stopped at all. It's just going to happen.
Everybody dies. The end.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though how God is just like, nah, wash my hands of you now. I wonder if he's going to actually help them at some point.
Can't say anything.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen next. They're going to have to come up with a plan B, or like a plan, I don't know, F.
F for fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play games. Let's lighten the mood.
Okay, well, villain hot or not, I mean, I think the biggest villain here is God, isn't it? We don't see him.
Yeah, we don't see him. He doesn't count. Zachariah is not
Zachariah's
hot.
No. He is the opposite of hot.
If you count Sam as the villain for abandoning Dean, then he's a hot villain. I do. He's a hot villain. He's my hot villain of this episode.
I count Dean as a villain.
So all the Sam girls are going to be up in arms.
Dean's being a villain for
Laura
not letting Sam have his own memories.
Oh my god. Whose team are you on? Let us know in the comments. Are you team Sam or team Dean in this episode? Can you not decide? What happened to your feelings? You know, are you okay? Do you need therapy? Let us know. Tell us in the comments.
So yeah, no hot villains. The scare rating.
John Winchester is a hot villain.
Oh, that's true. He is. Yeah, he is actually probably the biggest villain of this episode.
Winchester. We didn't technically see him, but we know what he looks like. He's hot as fuck. Done.
He definitely is. Yeah, scare rating. I think Heaven was actually pretty scary, at least to start with. The Roadhouse Heaven was fine, but the other Heavens were scary with the searchlights and everything.
Watching them die. Like, even knowing that it's that scene in the hotel is terrible. Like, especially when they shoot Sam and you just see Sam go down. That's horrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give it a 7.5, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 5.
Okay. Sure.
Favorite quotes. 1, 2. I think I've got 3.
You want to spend the rest of your life knowing Dean Winchester's on your ass, because I don't. And then there's that, I can't remember the exact line. I didn't write lines down. But when when Dean says, "Get out of my dreams, Cass. I need personal space." That was so funny. And then when Sam's like talking about why the fuck is he in heaven, he's like, "Maybe you haven't noticed, but I've done a few things."
Done a few things.
Yeah.
Like start the apocalypse now.
Yeah. Amazing. I loved it so much. And then when Zachariah is like, "Lucifer might be powerful, but I'm petty."
That's good.
Also love it when Sam's like, "Apparently you love hugs."
Mine were Dean at the start saying, "When I come back, I'm going to be pissed." Because he knows he always comes back. Dean saying, "I'm dead," and Cass says, "Condolences."
Oh my god, I forgot about condolences. Condolences is so good. Condolences is arguably one of the best lines ever. Condolences.
And my other one was Ash saying, "This ain't the first time here. I mean, you boys die more than anyone I've ever met."
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
For thirst traps, I didn't actually note any this time.
Oh, Dean being like, "When I come back, I'm gonna be so mad." So hot. Also, I will give Cass being like, "You son of a bitch." That was kind of hot. I will give it to Sam when he's adorable with a dog. Because that's so, it's not really a thirst trap, it's an adorable trap. It's just so cute.
Yeah, well, adorable traps is Dean with his mom as well.
That too. Yeah. So cute. And the entire 4th of July sequence. So adorable.
That was cute. Yeah. I couldn't decide if there was an MVP, but maybe Ash for getting them to the garden, for being smart.
Yeah, I guess.
Even though they didn't go directly there, they went like via Evil Mary.
Yeah. That actually did not go well at all. Ash had great intentions, but I feel like his follow through was, I don't know, it didn't work out.
Unless Zachariah intercepted them, because he did say he was going to be watching all the roads into the garden. So maybe he did send them to the garden, but
yeah,
they got intercepted.
Maybe. I've got to give it to like Joshua / God.
Oh yeah,
because he brings them back to life.
Yeah,
and it's like, you can figure it out. Go team you.
You're on your own, but we'll send you back.
Yeah.
This one last time.
Yeah.
It won't
Just
be
like
the last time.
frustrated angel.
And motel, I mean, we only really saw it at the beginning and they got shot, so I don't really want to rate it.
It wasn't great. It wasn't really great. It was pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
The symbolism was like the red holes, which was like representing bullet holes.
Ugh.
And everything was, there were odd red touches to be like the blood and their death and stuff, like red towels and things. Symbolically cool. Nothing that wowed me. Like sometimes props really like, and set deck, you go, ooh, that's so significant, but this time not so much.
No. I did notice actually when they came back to life again, when they get up, all of like from a costume point of view, it was cool, but it was also like kind of scary and gross. Yeah. Where because they had all the bullet holes through the back of their shirts and stuff as well when they got up.
That was a really cool detail.
Yeah.
And also disgusting.
Yeah.
So many showers there. Those clothes are done.
Yeah. I was like, that was dark.
Yeah, very dark. I like it from a horror perspective, though. That's really solid gore.
Yeah. Yeah, from a horror perspective, it's good. From a loving Sam and Dean perspective, it's horrible.
Things like this is why I don't understand why everybody's so blasé about like stuff like Mystery Spot. Because I'm like, but he's dying terribly over and over and over again.
Yeah, so that was done for comedy though, like when things are like falling on him and stuff. And choking on a sausage.
My poor sweet baby Dean. No. Leave him alone. Yes, that's the episode. I'm now realizing that I did not, in fact, get to the whole heaven stuff, like the near-death experiences. But just to briefly summarize, really fascinatingly, the way that they represented their version of heaven really goes along very well with a lot of near-death experience recounts about like what that is like, and there like being a garden. Memories. Like so many people have said it. There's like a beautiful garden. There's a path. There's the presence of people that you love. There's the presence of angels for some people. That is a little bit when Ash says it's kind of open to interpretation. That's also very accurate to the near-death experiences. So that's really cool. So if you want to learn more about what I found, there's a YouTube video about a woman talking about her entire experience, which is very cool. And there is also an article that was written by a doctor. So I also found two people who were like complete skeptics before their near-death experience. And then afterwards they're like, whoa.
I love that when you get skeptics that are converted.
It is really cool. So hit up the links if you would like to look at that stuff.
I want to watch that video.
It's really good. And yeah, I thought it was fascinating. I thought the lore was tied really well together. Like we have like the Joshua lore. That's really interesting. The fact that their heaven and their experiences of heaven go along really well with what near-death experiences we have seen that are out there, like public accounts of it. I feel like the lore was really on point for this episode personally, and I do love it. Like there's horrible parts and it hurts my feelings, but there's also really great parts. Like if you just take where Sam's really happy to see Bone, and then where like they have the 4th of July thing together, and that's the episode. Then he's good. I agree. So good. And maybe a little bit of Mary thrown in there, being all cute, Dean, before all the John fuckery interferes, where it's just like adorable sandwiches. You know, that's
and pie.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is a mixed bag.
It is a mixed bag, but it's a good episode overall. Like it's not one of the ones where I look at it and I go, "No, you've offended me. Get out." Like I don't wish that it never existed or anything. I just I just remember it selectively. Selective memory about the 4th of July, and then just leave the rest in the dust. And on that note,
thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at the Witches of Letters podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.